Yuziu arrived just in time to rescue Nine Tails and Xiaoling from certain doom. This time, he held nothing back, unleashing his full power. From Yuziu and his dragon-blooded avatars, a boundless spiritual energy surged forth, vast and roaring like a stormy sea, spreading across the entire space. Sensing this terrifying force, the fused tree beast couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. This spiritual power. Could it be? Seeing his doubtful and fearful expression, Yuziu, in his dark spirit elf form, let out a wicked smile. Meanwhile, on Dragon Island, high above the clouds, Red Dragon and Golden Dragon looked down at a vast black pit, the very spot where Yuziu once rooted himself for cultivation. Now that he had left, only a silent, deep crater remained. Seeing this, Red Dragon and Golden Dragon couldn't hide their excitement, exclaiming in unison, "The chief has succeeded! At last, he's stepped into the extraordinary, rank 6! Even the fused tree beast was stunned, to reach that level in such a short time? Though shocked, he harbored no fear. Slowly, he brought both hands together, gathering a destructive force, as though he intended to wipe out everything in sight. Before striking, he offered Yuziu a cold compliment. "I truly admire how far you've come in such a short time. But that's all it is." The moment he finished speaking, Yuziu's dragon-blooded clones launched at the fused tree beast simultaneously. From within his elven form, Yuziu commanded, "Tear him apart." Under the order, the purple lightning dragon and the black flood dragon shot through the air like bolts of violet-black lightning, biting down on each side of the fused tree beast's body in an instant. Meanwhile, the third clone gathered an enormous force in its maw, warping the very space around it. In a flash, it fired a concentrated blast of spiritual energy straight at the beast's face, a devastating move called Dragon's Breath. Within seconds, the powerful dragon's breath obliterated the fused tree beast's body, sending his mangled remains crashing down into the churning lava below. Yet Yuziu, still in his dark spirit elf form, didn't show the slightest trace of joy. He knew this opponent would not be vanquished so easily. As expected, fragments of the beast's body hovered in midair, refusing to vanish. In a blink, the pieces began drifting back together, reforming a whole body from mere scraps of flesh. At that moment, Yuziu spoke in a deep voice. "Use your true power now. If you wait any longer, you won't have the chance." As soon as he finished, the scattered pieces rapidly reassembled into a fully restored body. The fused tree beast, completely regenerated, eyes blazing with murderous rage, burst into arrogant laughter. "Ha! Even if you hadn't said it, I was going to do it anyway. Now feel the full might of my true form." The moment he spoke, his body began to transform. His energy erupted like a tsunami, pounding against the heavens and earth. Yuziu didn't attack, he simply watched. He knew even if he struck now, the beast would survive and escape. The surge of energy was so immense that even Nine Tails and Xiaoling, though they had already retreated far away, felt it instantly. Both turned back simultaneously. Worry etched across their faces as they gazed toward their master locked in battle. In that instant, the overwhelming spiritual pressure traveled through space and bore down on them, making it difficult to breathe. Xiaoling's eyes widened in terror. She whispered, "This power. It's too strong, it's not even on the same level as before." A chill ran through her. "Master." She whispered again. She wasn't even sure anymore. Could her master truly defeat this monstrous foe? Despite still being mid-transformation, the fused tree beast exuded boundless arrogance. He roared, his voice booming like thunder. "Killing you here will serve as a warning to all your subordinates. After that, they'll all become mine." Facing that aggressive declaration, Yuziu simply let out a cold, mocking laugh and responded loudly, "I've heard those same words more times than I can count. And they all died in the end." Hearing this, the fused tree beast snarled in derision. "That's because they were weak." As soon as he finished speaking, his body was enveloped in a blinding spiritual light, like a miniature sun glowing in the gloomy sky. At the same time, thick black smoke surged upward, engulfing the entire area. When the light and smoke finally cleared, Yuziu instantly noticed his opponent's new form. It wasn't drastically different from before, but now 7 blood-red eyes had opened from his head down to his abdomen. Twisted horns curled upward grotesquely from his crown, most noticeably. The spiritual energy radiating from him was now many times stronger than before. The beast locked all 7 eyes on Yuziu and sneered arrogantly. "This is my strongest form. Let's see how long you can last." Kilometers away, 9 Tails and Xiaoling could still feel the oppressive aura sweeping through the space like an invisible storm. Xiaoling, her gaze resolute, stared toward the direction of her master's battle and whispered, "9 Tails, let's go. This is the final battle." 9 Tails nodded without hesitation. "All right." Back on the battlefield, the fused tree beast roared. Spiritual power surged into his right arm, condensing into a violent stream of light. Raising his arm high, he brought it crashing down like a bolt of lightning aimed squarely at Yuziu's dark spirit elf form. Boom! The massive hand struck with an earth-shattering roar. The molten lake below trembled violently. Flames exploded into the air, and the entire scene was obscured by dust and heat. But then, his eyes flickered in disbelief, because what he had grabbed wasn't Yuziu's dark elf form. It was a massive hand, one that belonged to Yuziu's true form as the colossal willow tree in battle mode. Meanwhile, the real Yuziu, in his elf form, was resting safely in the other hand of the willow body, one hand clutching the enemy, one hand shielding his true self. The two forces were locked in a standoff, each holding their ground, waiting for the next move. Narrowing his eyes, the fused tree beast growled, "How many clones do you even have?" Yuziu simply gave a cold, icy smirk, his killing intent thick and oppressive. "You'll find out soon enough." The beast didn't want to wait. Enraged by Yuziu's evasive answer, he roared, "Then it's not necessary to wait." After creating distance, he spread his arms wide. The 7 eyes on his body glowed simultaneously, focusing into one terrifying energy beam that fired straight at Yuziu. Yuziu raised one arm in front of him to block the attack. The overwhelming force pressed down like a waterfall, threatening to obliterate him on the spot. But in that very moment, Yuziu swung his blocking arm with immense force, and the beam instantly dispersed like water vapor. Meanwhile, his other hand still safely cradled his elven form. The devastating attack was neutralized as effortlessly as flicking away a speck of dust. For a moment, the fused tree beast stood frozen, stunned speechless by what had just happened. Wasting no time, Yuziu's willow body launched a furious punch. The fused tree beast quickly retreated and raised his defenses, activating a defensive skill, Root Shield, to absorb the impact. But just then, Yuziu's lightning-charged fist came crashing down like a god's hammer. In an instant, the fused tree beast's defenses shattered like paper, and the fist punched straight through his body, blasting out the other side. Despite having just landed a devastating blow, Yuziu, in his dark spirit elf form, remained on high alert. His eyes, sharp as blades, never left his opponent, prepared for any trick or sudden counterattack.